Hello, Red Sox fans, and welcome to another Talk Sox video. A lot has been happening behind the scenes in Boston, and Brandon and I, as always, are here to report on it. So, as of yesterday, 8/18, here's what's been going on. Outfielder Rev Snyder has been placed on a 10-day IL. Man, has that been news to us? There seems to be a lot of players going on the IL recently. Ali Sanchez designated for an assignment. First baseman Nathaniel Lowe agreed to a one-year contract. Hey, that's pretty good. And outfielder Nate Eaton has been recalled from the minors. So, Brandon, I want to get your thoughts on all of this. A lot is happening right now in Boston, so let's dive right in.
Yeah, so obviously sort of the snowball, the pushing of the snowball here was Marcelo Meyer's injury. We spoke about this in another video. He's out for the rest of the season. He's not going to be returning to offer some reinforcements. Hence the signing of Lowe and Nate Eaton being recalled. He'll probably play mostly in the infield. He's obviously capable in the outfield, but I assume he's mostly going to play in the infield for the remainder of the season, or as long as he's up in Boston. Who knows what's going to happen when rosters expand in September? But yeah, again, Ref Snyder's injury really stinks. I've been writing about him quite a bit on the Talk Sox front page recently. He's a valuable bat against left-handed pitching. His injury isn't going to sink the team by any means. It doesn't sound like it's going to be a super long-term injury. Obviously, Romy Gonzalez can very much fill his role of being that left-handed pitching masher. But it's obviously nice to have Ref Snyder, especially because they signed Nathaniel Lowe, who, for all intents and purposes, seems like he's going to be the starting first baseman for the remainder of the season, at least in the strong side of the platoon against right-handed pitching, which means that obviously Romy Gonzalez will probably be his short side platoon partner at first base. Who knows what that means for Abraham Toro? But again, all these moves being made, I really like the Low signing, and I'll focus on that in a second. But all these moves being made is just sort of what a team has to do when they get injury news like Myers' injury, and when they have to sort of adjust the roster in the last 6 weeks of the regular season are here. They have to do what they can to get as many healthy bodies on the roster as they can. If that means letting Ali Sanchez go, and making sure and letting Connor Wong sort of own that second catcher spot, that's what you have to do. It's not ideal, but that's the situation the Red Sox find themselves in right now.
Yeah, it's a very rough position, but at the end of the day, sacrifices have to be made. I do want to point out I've seen Nathaniel Lowe play in person. I'm based in Maryland, so I'm very close to the Nationals, and when he was on the Nationals, I've seen him play in the Beltway series. He's a very good defenseman. You also have to remember back in 2023, he was on the Rangers. Rangers won the World
Mhm.
Series, so he's got a World Series ring on his hand already. He's a very skilled player. And to have him now in Boston, I think is a very good move for us until we get our players healthy again.
Yeah, and again, it's Ethan, you and I spoke about this quite a bit at the trade deadline. The Red Sox shockingly did not make a move for a first baseman at the deadline. Obviously, there wasn't a ton of options. The Mariners jumped on Josh Naylor super early, so maybe they just sort of, let the market sort of pass them by. Getting Nathaniel Lowe, who was a trade target, by the way, at the deadline, getting Nathaniel Lowe sort of for free, basically on waivers, is a really nice move for the Red Sox. Again, he's been having a down year. I also wrote about this on the front page on Talk Sox, but he's been having a down year. Strikeout rates up. His offensive stats are way down. His bat speed is slowed way down. He's not hitting fastballs as well, but he's still really good against right-handed pitching, which is something the Red Sox really need with the way Abraham Toro has been playing recently. And again, if you just have Lowe at first base against right-handed pitching, and then you let Romy Gonzalez play against left-handed pitching, that's a really high-quality first base duo that the Red Sox can run out there. Again, it's not as ideal as having a guy who can, one guy who can play all, first base every single day, but it is still really valuable, especially since Romy Gonzalez is going to be playing against left-handed pitching regardless. So having sort of a role for him is, a permanent role for him is a nice thing. Again, it's Nathaniel Lowe signing isn't going to change the complexion of this team. It's not going to, turn them from. My point being, if they were going to lose in the wild card round, Nathaniel Lowe is not going to be the reason they advance in the wild
It's a
card.
band-aid on a bigger issue.
Correct. And so at the end of the day, it's a nice move to make. It's a desperate move to make at this point in the season. But given how badly the Red Sox have needed first base help since that Triston Casas injury 3 or 4 months ago at this point, this was the move they had to make. And they're lucky that Lowe became available.
Yeah, I completely agree. As always, we'd love to get your thoughts on this. How do you feel that these players have been moved around? Do you feel happy that Nathaniel Lowe has now joined Boston from Washington, D.C.? We'd love to hear your comments, as always, in the comments section below.